You finally committed to being consistent about sunscreen. You make it to the store and there's a wall of 40 bottles looking right back at you. SPF this, SPF that, mineral, chemical, broad spectrum, reef safe, and somewhere in the back of your mind is the one that left you gray, or the one you thought it disappeared until it flashed back in a selfie. So you put it down and you walk out. If that's you, you're in the right place. The problem was never that you couldn't commit to sunscreen. The problem is that no one taught you how to choose one that actually worked for you. Hi, I'm Dana, skincare educator and founder of Beauty in Color. I help Black women understand their skin, build better routines, and age intentionally. And today, I'm helping you commit to being consistent with sunscreen by making it easy to fit in your routine. I'll explain the difference between chemical and mineral sunscreen in plain language, so those terms stop tripping you up. I'll show you what to actually look for on the label and what's just there to sell. I'll tell you how to find a product that disappears on your skin instead of leaving you ashy. By the end, you'll be able to walk into a store or shop online and know what you're looking for. Quick context if you're new here. Your melanin gives you some sun protection, but it's a head start, not a finish line. And for us, the real issue isn't burning, it's pigment. The dark spots and the uneven tone that take months to fade. I go deep on why in my video on why most sunscreen advice doesn't work for us. So if you still need convincing that you need this at all, start there. Today, I'm assuming you're already convinced that you need sunscreen every day. So let's make sure you pick the right one. Let's clear up the big one first, because these two words are on every bottle: chemical and mineral. The difference is how they protect you. Mineral sunscreen sits on top of your skin and bounces UV rays away from it. So picture a shield on the surface. The ingredients that do that are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Chemical sunscreen works differently. It absorbs the UV rays into the product so they don't damage your skin. Different mechanism, same goal. Here's what matters for us. Those mineral ingredients, zinc and titanium, are white. So when they sit on top of deeper skin, they can read as ashy or gray. That's the cast. It's not in your head, and it's not you applying it wrong. It's the formula. Chemical sunscreens don't have that problem the same way because they're absorbing instead of sitting on top. That's part of why the newer chemical and hybrid formulas tend to go on more smoothly and reapply more easily. Now, you've probably heard that mineral is the gentler choice for sensitive skin. There is something to that. Mineral filters sit on top instead of sinking in, and they tend to cause fewer reactions. But here's what that advice leaves out. A lot of the stinging and breaking out people blame on chemical sunscreen isn't the filter, it's the fragrance, it's the preservatives, it's everything else in the bottle. I have sensitive eczema-prone skin, and I do fine with chemical sunscreens because I look for simple, fragrance-free formulas. So if your skin is reactive, mineral sunscreen is a reasonable place to start. Know that fragrance-free and simple often matters more than mineral versus chemical. So where do I land? If you found a mineral sunscreen that disappears on you and feels good, keep it. There's nothing wrong with mineral. And in a minute, I'll show you why a certain kind of mineral might be the best thing going for us. I personally reach for chemical because I need something that goes on easy and that I'll reapply during the day. And if the gray cast is the thing that's burned you before, I have a solution for you. Okay, you understand chemical versus mineral. Now let's decode the rest of the label, because there are only a few things you need to find, and the rest is noise. First, SPF 30 or higher. That's the floor every day. You don't need to chase SPF 70 or 100. How you apply it matters more than the number. A full even layer of SPF 30 protects you better than a thin rushed layer of SPF 60. And a number that high can give you a false sense of security. Second, the words broad spectrum. This is the one a lot of people miss. SPF is mainly a measure of UVB, the rays that burn. On its own, the SPF number tells you nothing about UVA, the rays that age your skin and drive pigment. For us, UVA is the one we care most about, so broad spectrum isn't optional. If it doesn't say broad spectrum, put it back. Third, almost everything else on the front of the bottle is marketing. Reef safe isn't a regulated term. Clean and natural don't mean gentler or safer for your skin. Don't let those words make the decision for you. The two things that matter are SPF 30 or higher and broad spectrum. Find those and you've already cleared most of the wall. So you've narrowed it to the broad spectrum SPF 30 options. Now how do you pick one? 2 questions. Question 1, does it disappear on your skin? This is where you test it, on your jaw, on the back of your hand, in natural light, not the store's lighting. Does it blend in or does it leave that gray film? And I suggest taking a picture on your phone too, so you can see how it shows up in a photo, not just in the mirror. That flash will tell on sunscreen fast. And if it casts, it's not the one, no matter how good the reviews are. Question 2, will you wear it? Does it feel good? Does it layer under your makeup or over your moisturizer without peeling? Is it easy to reapply? Because the best sunscreen isn't the highest SPF or the most expensive one. It's the one you'll reach for every morning without thinking about it. A perfect sunscreen sitting in your cabinet protects nothing. And this is where tint earns its place. The thing I promised you a minute ago. A tinted sunscreen has a little color in it, and that color cancels out the gray. Instead of a chalky film, you get something that evens out your skin. For a lot of us, tinted is the difference between a sunscreen we tolerate and one we love. If you want a head start, I keep the no-cast formulas I reach for in my sunscreen collection. The link is in the description, and I keep it updated as I test new ones. Now for us, there's a reason having a tinted sunscreen isn't just a nice to have. It might be the most important kind. Here's what nobody tells you. UV isn't the only light that affects your skin. There's also visible light, the light coming off the sun and off your phone and your laptop. And visible light drives pigment in deeper skin. For us, it's part of what's behind the dark spots and the uneven skin tone. Regular sunscreen, the SPF number, only measures UV protection. It does nothing for visible light. But tint does. The thing that gives tinted sunscreen its color is usually iron oxides, and iron oxides protect against visible light. There's research showing that tinted formulas with iron oxides guard against visible light pigmentation in deeper skin in a way that plain sunscreen can't. So that tint isn't just a cosmetic bonus for us. It's a second layer of protection against the exact thing our skin is most prone to. And I want you to hear something underneath all of this. For years, the sunscreens on the shelf weren't built for us. The cast, the missing shades, all of it. That's finally starting to change, and the tinted no-cast options we have now are proof. Before we wrap up, I want to share 3 mistakes I see all the time so you can skip past them. 1, picking a sunscreen because it says clean or natural instead of checking what matters. The front of the bottle isn't the information you need. The 2 things that matter are on the back. 2, chasing the highest SPF number. SPF 30 applied well and reapplied beats SPF 100 you put on your face once in a thin layer and forget. The number isn't the magic, wearing it is. 3, writing off a whole category over one bad experience. One mineral sunscreen turned you gray, so you swore off mineral. One chemical one stung, so you swore off chemical. And I understand how traumatic that can be. But that was one formula, not the whole category. The right one for your skin is out there, and probably more than one. So here's what I hope you take from this video. The right sunscreen for us isn't the purest one, the most expensive one, or the one with the biggest number. It's the one that disappears on your skin, protects against UV and visible light, and feels good enough that you'll wear it every day. Find that, and you've protected everything else you're doing for your skin. In the comments, I want to know, what's the sunscreen that finally worked for you? Or are you still searching? Drop it below because somebody listening is looking for the exact thing you found. And next time, we're taking the same skill and pointing it at everything else in our routine. How to choose skincare products without wasting your money. Which ones are worth it, which ones you can skip, and how to stop buying things that end up in a drawer. If you've ever spent good money on something that did nothing, you're gonna love this one. If this helped, subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm so glad you're here, and I will see you next week.